never good, even the best of times. But yeah, so pretty much we are going to be talking about that here. And let's take a look, obviously, starting us off on day 2 right now. And this was 8 hours ago at this stage. So Caitlin with Jackie Young here. Caitlin Clark there playing defense. Immediate inbound. And this is a play I'm really impressed by. Caitlin Clark, immediate inbound to Jackie Young. Bam, bam, layup. And this is they're playing against. They're playing against Kelsey Plum here. So it's a good shot there. And it doesn't really matter. So Caitlin inbounds to Jackie Young.
Fresh updates have emerged from the Team USA basketball training facility in Durham, North Carolina, where Caitlin Clark has returned alongside fellow WNBA talent for what resembles an all-star gathering. Sue Bird serves as the managing director for this session, which has generated considerable buzz among basketball enthusiasts. During earlier coverage, Clark emphasized the critical nature of players and the organization uniting to negotiate a collective bargaining agreement. She noted that supporters simply want to enjoy watching competitive basketball. Additional court footage has surfaced showing her performance, though discussions began with off-season basketball matters. Confirmation has now arrived that Clark will not participate in Project B currently.
It's a good shot there, and it doesn't really matter. So Caitlin inbounds to Jackie Young, and there is, like, I mean this when I say this. If Jackie Young wants to come to Indiana, that is the only circumstance where I think it's acceptable for the Indiana Fever to say, you know what, we don't, not that we don't want Kelsey Mitchell, or that's the only time it's acceptable for the Fever to say, okay, Kelsey Mitchell's not the, not that she's not the priority, but like, you know what, we have a better player, because Jackie Young is absolutely.
This marks the initial occasion she has personally spoken about the alternative league publicly. Her statement remains straightforward. Participation will occur in the WNBA, period. However, she acknowledges the positive aspects of having additional league options available. Questions have circulated regarding whether Clark's involvement in the competing league is necessary. The answer appears to be no. Yet numerous supporters have expressed their desire to see her join, not merely for extra viewing opportunities.
But like, you know what, we have a better player, because Jackie Young is absolutely a better pair, like is a better seamless fit with Caitlin Clark, because Jackie Young, again, she is a much better lead guard. Like, Jackie Young played point guard for the Aces all last year. I don't give a damn what Chelsea Gray's nickname is. Jackie Young played point guard. And you can see here, Caitlin Clark going quickly and inbounding the ball to a Jackie Young. And that's the thing when it comes to Caitlin, is she's got to be able to play with, like, the reality is that Caitlin is the primary point guard, whether she's on the floor with Jackie Young, whether she's on.
Many fans believe such a move would create seismic ripples throughout the WNBA establishment, affecting players, administrative leadership, and organizations like the Indiana Fever. The message it would transmit seems clear: alternative options exist for elite talent. Considerable sentiment exists among content creators and supporters that the existing league and its athletes fail to properly value Clark's contributions. Participating in Project B would generate massive attention and possibly force recognition similar to what other stars receive regarding officiating treatment, particularly given the physical play she regularly faces. When questioned about Project B's outreach and potential participation plans, along with broader thoughts on the initiative, Clark responded diplomatically. She confirmed intentions to compete in the WNBA, stressing that finalizing agreements remains essential with another season approaching.
Primary point guard, whether she's on the floor with Jackie Young, whether she's on the floor with Paige Bueckers. But the fact is that when you are playing with a combo guard, and I don't mean like a scoring two like a Kelsey, a legit combo guard in a Jackie Young, in a Chelsea Gray is a point guard. She doesn't have the ability to keep up with the speed that Team USA needs to play at, which is probably why she'll be a situational player at the one. But like that inbound pass, I'm very impressed with that. But like, if you look at the way this team were playing with Caitlin.
Beyond personal plans, she highlighted what the situation reveals about women's basketball perception. Multiple opportunities and various leagues demonstrate platforms willing to support women's basketball and confidence in its continued expansion. Clark expressed pride in witnessing genuine belief backed by financial commitment, something historically absent from women's basketball, despite decades of excellence spanning 25 to 30 years. Seeing enthusiasm and actual investment dedicated to supporting the sport represents meaningful progress worth celebrating. Recent training footage showcases Clark's effortless passing ability, making plays appear simple during scrimmages. She was observed drilling three-point shots from deep range with teammate Chelsea Gray, demonstrating the sharp shooting form that remains her signature.
I'm very impressed with that. I'm very impressed with that. But like, if you look again, you look at the way this team were playing with Caitlin and Jackie Young. My expectation is that that's going to be the two of them are going to be starting. I wouldn't be surprised if Fee doesn't show up to the World Cup because it's mid-season. But if you're looking here again, they're there on the defensive end. Miss. Caitlin Clark gets the rebound. Meep, meep. Let's run. Let's run the whole length of the floor. Let's get the pass going. Let's get the offense there. Swing to a corner, do a corner shot, missed a shot. I don't really care. It is that tempo, and you're seeing it in this camp. That team.
Head coach Kara Lawson offered praise following practice sessions, describing Clark as a terrific athlete who appeared locked in and focused. Lawson observed strong performance on both offensive and defensive ends, noting that Clark showed no signs of rust from the break. Sue Bird has also made statements during the camp, though specific remarks about Clark have not been widely reported. Bird's comments centered on the overall experience of bringing everyone together for training. Regarding Project B's contact with Clark, the question itself seemed almost rhetorical during the press session.
I don't really care. It is that tempo, and you're seeing it in this camp. That teams that Caitlin Clark is playing on is not just Caitlin Clark. They are go, 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 go. There is a... People didn't completely mistake speed for tempo. And it's like, oh no, the fastest players, they play at the highest tempo. No, they don't. The tempo is like... The second is just when you see it where it's like, okay, the ball is there. We're all gone. Everyone's gone. Pass, forward. Everyone looking forward. Bang, bang, bang. Easy open shot. Easy, quick open shot. Versus out of control. Meep, meep. Kelsey Mitchell shit. And by the way,
common sense suggests she likely ranked among the first athletes approached by the new league's organizers. Anyone launching a competitive league would prioritize securing the sport's biggest draw with an attractive financial package. Given the investors involved, including notable figures like Novak Djokovic and Steve Young, strategic thinking about recruitment seems certain. Skepticism exists about whether Project B can succeed without Clark's involvement. However, the league plans international operations, which changes the equation significantly.
Kelsey Mitchell shit. And by the way, like, Kelsey Mitchell, Kelsey Mitchell's unbelievable. But I use her as an example because Kelsey Mitchell doesn't play at it. Kelsey Mitchell plays fast. She doesn't push the tempo. That's probably the best way I can describe it. Is that she's more of a like speed. She's fast but doesn't push the tempo, whereas Caitlin Clark isn't anywhere near as fast as Kelsey Mitchell but pushes the tempo.
International women's basketball draws substantial crowds regularly. Attendance figures from various overseas venues range from 7,500 to 13,000 fans, often filling arenas to capacity. This contrasts sharply with domestic leagues that struggle with attendance numbers around 800 spectators. The international appeal factor cannot be understated. Should Clark eventually participate, venues in locations like Japan or China could potentially draw 25,000 to 50,000 attendees.
Clark isn't anywhere near as fast as Kelsey Mitchell, but pushes the tempo. The post entry pass. This is a ridiculous post entry pass, by the way, by Caitlin. This is absolutely ridiculous there. She gets it up top. Really good swing. Unbelievable pass there to Diarca Hamby, who does a really, like, she gets blocked on it. But I thought Hamby did a really good job of kind of nudging the defense or the offensive player. Or the defensive player to get position, which was very good. Aaliyah Boston there. Really nice handoff there. I do actually think the Aaliyah Boston Chelsea Gray pick and roll could actually...
The drawing power she possesses globally remains extraordinary. Whether organizers might consider venues like Lucas Oil Stadium for special events remains speculative but worth considering given the potential crowd sizes. Training camp continues in Durham with Clark participating fully, demonstrating the skill level and work ethic that made her one of basketball's most recognizable figures. The collective bargaining negotiations loom large for the WNBA season ahead, with Clark emphasizing the importance of reaching agreements that benefit everyone involved. Meanwhile, Project B represents an intriguing development in women's professional basketball, regardless of whether the sport's biggest star ultimately decides to participate.
On the court, but we're going to start with off-season basketball, right? Now, we already know that Caitlin Clark is not going to Project B as of right now. She is not going, all right? This is the first time she's actually addressed out of her own mouth Project B. Okay? So this is
During the second session of Team USA's training camp, Caitlin Clark continued to showcase her abilities alongside her teammates. The footage from this practice revealed several noteworthy moments worth examining. Early in the session, Clark demonstrated quick decision-making on an inbound play with Jackie Young. The immediate pass led to a fast layup, showing effective chemistry between the two players even against strong opposition like Kelsey Plum. This type of rapid ball movement exemplifies the kind of coordination that could define successful lineups.
Out of her own mouth, Project B. Okay? So this is interesting because, yeah, she says, I'm going to play in the WNBA. Full stop. But she fully recognizes the benefit of there being another league. All right? Now, I've contended, does Caitlin Clark need to go play over there? Nope, she doesn't. But I've had fans reach out to me and voice this as well.
The Young-Clark pairing presents an intriguing dynamic. Young's capabilities as a lead guard, having operated in that role for the Aces previously, make her particularly compatible with Clark's style. While Clark remains the primary ball handler, Young's versatility as a genuine combo guard allows for fluid transitions and shared playmaking responsibilities. This contrasts with guards who excel at speed but don't necessarily accelerate the pace of play in the same way. Speed and tempo represent two distinct concepts, often confused in basketball analysis.
Reach out to me and voice this as well. The reason a lot of her fans would like to see her go over there, not just to be able to have another avenue to watch her play, but a lot of her fans want to go because they believe it would be a shockwave moment for the WNBA, the players and the league, leadership in the league, all across. Kathy, Adam, the Indiana Fever, boom, it would send a...
True tempo involves coordinated movement where everyone pushes forward simultaneously, quick passes, constant forward vision, creating easy scoring opportunities. Clark's presence on any squad tends to elevate this pace, not just through individual quickness, but through collective urgency. Several technical plays stood out during the session. Clark delivered an exceptional entry pass into the post, displaying court vision and precision. Another sequence featured a handoff with Aaliyah Boston, leading to quality ball movement.
Kathy, Adam, the Indiana Fever, boom, it would send a jaunting message from her to them. Hey, I can go play somewhere else. And a lot of us, I know a lot of my fellow creators, I know a lot of fans feel like the league and the players in the league don't respect Caitlin Clark. It would get a lot of attention. All right.
The Boston-Chelsea Gray pick-and-roll combination also showed potential for half-court situations requiring more deliberate execution. Defensive sequences revealed areas for continued development. While Clark positioned herself adequately on several possessions, defensive consistency remains a growth area for multiple players in camp. One play saw Young receive effective coverage that forced a kick-out pass to Clark for a three-point attempt, exactly the type of secondary option that makes dual playmakers valuable. Boston's interactions with teammates also caught attention, particularly a physical moment during play.
A lot of attention. All right, a lot of attention. And maybe, hey, Asia Wilson has got that special whistle. What would it look like if they actually gave Caitlin Clark a special whistle when you considering how they foul her all the time? I'm just pointing that out, right? So, Caitlin Clark come out, made some comments about Project B.
Have you been approached by the Project B League at all? And do you have plans to take?
These competitive exchanges demonstrate the intensity level maintained throughout camp. Despite players competing for roster spots, camaraderie remains evident. Background audio captured teammates encouraging each other during shooting attempts, showing the balance between competition and support. The Clark-Young combination represents perhaps the most seamless backcourt pairing available. Young's defensive reliability, secondary playmaking, and unselfish approach complement Clark's strengths perfectly.
Project B League at all? And do you have plans to take part in it? And if not, what do you think of it more broadly?
Yeah, I mean, I plan to play in the WNBA. Obviously, that's another thing that we need to get done. So we have a season coming up here. But I think more than anything, it showcases what people think of women's basketball. All of these different opportunities, all these different leagues, the platform that they want to give women's basketball, where they think women's basketball is going to continue to grow. I think that's probably the thing that pops into my mind is just that of like.
Among potential teammates, few match the natural fit Young provides, comparable only to the Clark-Boston connection. Regarding potential starting lineups, speculation suggests Clark and Paige Bueckers might open for Olympic competition, though the World Cup could feature different combinations. Starting all three guards, Clark, Bueckers, and Young presents a viable strategy despite none possessing elite size. All stand around 6 feet, adequate for competing against international wings who typically range from 6'1" to 6'2". Even taller opponents like Spain's 6'4" forwards don't play to their full height advantage.
Probably the thing that pops into my mind is just that of like people are really believing and putting their money where their mouth is. And that hasn't always been the case for women's basketball, no matter how great it's been over the course of, the last 25, 30 years. And so I think for myself, like that's probably what I'm most proud of is just how, excited and people are to really invest and want to support women's basketball more than anything.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so she's obviously very aware of the league, and she's not going to play in it.
A three-guard starting lineup featuring these players could prove nearly unbeatable in international competition. Their collective skills, basketball intelligence, and complementary styles create a formidable combination that opponents would struggle to counter effectively. Boston's comments about Clark potentially hitting championship-winning shots in World Cup play add another layer to camp narratives. While missed opportunities occur, they're inherent to basketball. The overall performance trajectory shows steady improvement and growing team chemistry. Physical play between Boston and opponents also generated discussion, with comparisons drawn to reactions involving other players.
She's obviously very aware of the league, and she's not going to play in it as of right now. Right? So, but I do think it's interesting hearing her comments altogether, right? And the fact that people are willing to invest in the league. She sends another shot at the WNBA about how important it is to get the deal done. Let's be honest. It's good to hear her talk.
These moments highlight the scrutiny placed on certain athletes versus others in similar situations. The training camp continues, revealing which combinations work best together and which players elevate team performance beyond individual statistics. The Young-Clark partnership stands out as particularly promising, offering a blueprint for how elite talent can synchronize effectively when given opportunities to develop chemistry. Throughout the second day's activities, consistent themes emerged: rapid ball movement, shared playmaking responsibilities, defensive effort requiring refinement, and strong interpersonal dynamics among competitors. These elements will shape roster decisions and strategic approaches as preparation continues for international competition.